Welcome back to Alice Customs Project Car TV. We're working on Scott's C10 pickup. It's a 1970. And what I'm doing is we've decided to do a full paint job on the truck. So we're not going to leave some of the rust and some of the less than stellar panel replacement. Our budget doesn't allow for what we really need to do, which is scrap this cab and get a new one. We've already done the flat firewall, so we'd really be wasting our money if we hadn't done it early. At some time in the past, somebody had replaced cab supports, the rear cab supports. They had replaced parts of the floor pans and the inner rockers. They didn't make them fit very well, and there was a huge like V gap right here at the end of the rocker. This would be the passenger side rocker panel. There was a huge gap between it and the cab corner, and there's so much Bondo in the cab corner, I'm pretty sure it's been replaced. Although, yeah, right there's the seam. So I needed to redo this corner, and I don't have a cab corner, although I have purchased some rocker panels, and we need to do some work on the front of this rocker panel up here. It sticks, it's rolled in too tight, so I'm pretty sure this rocker panel has been replaced too. But it rolls in too tight, so we just need to pull it out. So I bought rocker panels so that I could cut whatever sections. So for this back, I just cut the back portion of that out. So I just took a piece off of it that's going to give me the right shape here, and then I'll just shape it into this and let me basically not have to have a 1/2 inch of Bondo back here. There's a lot of booger welds in here. I'm trying to clean them up as I go. There are some really iffy patches, but all I'm doing with those is just trying to actually weld them up. A lot of the patches were just some booger welds tacked on it, and then that was it. Most of them had broken loose. When I cut this piece out, this is part of the piece I cut out of here, and you can see there was a big gap here, and then it made it like a big V right there. It was full of caulking. And then on the back side of this was all of this caulking. So caulking's not the proper way to fix these things. I get that people want to do whatever work, and then you half-ass it. And sometimes you don't have the skills to do anything but that. And the caulking got it back on the road at some point. And if it wasn't for all the rust and the other issues in here, probably would have never noticed it. But I did, and we do need to fix it. So we've got a piece quite a bit bigger than what we need, and we'll just cut it off. I will weld this seam up, but then I'll take my zip wheel and just gouge it, and that way it looks like a factory seam. I don't think I have to do the same thing on the other side. Like I said, it's been patched, but the patch isn't terrible, so there'll be some Bondo in it, but for the most part it's going to be acceptable. So we're just going to get in here, try and fit that in, shorten it up, but that gives us the right curve this way, and then I can start curving it off this way. And you could make that on a roller and a bender, or you could make it over the edge of a vise, and you'd get it close enough that a little bit of skim coat. And I don't have a problem with a skim coat of filler. What I don't want is a 1/2 inch of filler to make it look even look right, like it's the right shape. So that's what I'm working on right now. The other stuff you've seen me doing is just welding up seams and stuff, or filling in holes. I have done a few patch panels myself, and so I was, one of the things I wanted to do for my own quality of work or whatever is I wanted to dress up the welds on the bottom. I've re-welded both of these supports. They were just a couple of spot welds across them, so I just welded them up. I'll dress those welds up, try and get rid of some of the other ugly welds. And it's the bottom of the truck. It doesn't have to be stellar perfect. It certainly doesn't need to be metal finish. We're not going to do a whole floor. We're not going to do a cab replacement. So what we need to do is just enough to put the truck back on the road for the next 20 years or something. So that's where I'm at, and we'll move forward. Okay, so what we're going to do is come in, weld the seam here, just a few tack welds, and then we'll fit it to this, and then we'll hammer. May have to open the door and get our hand inside there and dolly this end in a little bit. Obviously, working with a piece of the rocker panel, which is straight, is not quite as easy as if we had a cab corner replacement where we could cut a patch out of it, but it'll work. It gives us most of the curves. I did have to open it up a little bit. It was a little bit too tight, so to match this line, we've opened it up just a little bit. But I think we're gonna make it look real good here. Because it's changing this shape, and then back here the curve is much more dramatic. Just kind of have to try and play. But I had this shape pretty good, so it's just a matter now of tweaking it to do what we want. That's the gist of it. Now we'll let that cool off a little bit. It's a little bit warm. Come back, do some more tacks, fill, clean up this backside. And we can come on to, we're going to play with this rocker just a little bit from about here to here. Cut it on the inside, pull it out just a hair so it'll line up with the bottom of the door. And then the front, from about here to here, I think we're going to have to section off a piece. Although we may be able to just cut it on the inside again and pull it out so that it'll line up with the bottom of the door. The door lines up really well right in the middle. And then it's both ends of the rocker curve in.
So here you can see the work we did. It's all finished up, and then we've cleaned up some of this weld that was already here. Probably do a little bit more on it. Big thing coming up is if you look right down there, when this area here is flush, you can see that this corner sticks out about an 1/8 of an inch, maybe 3/16 right in here. It's just really odd shaped right in here. So we're gonna come in, cut this up past this weld, take some material out of there, and then push that back in and make it follow the shape of the door. So like we were talking about before, the rocker panel, with the door in about the right location, it's real good right here, but by the time you get down to this area, the door is way out away from it. And right now I don't have the bottom of the fender bolted in, so we can make it wherever. But we've got to cut this cut this rocker panel rather, and pull it out. And also you can see the gap is not particularly even, so we're going to fix that at the same time.